Hello, my friends. Thanks again for watching these short videos. You know, you've heard me say probably several times by now that there's a difference between being a parishioner and being a disciple. What do I mean by that? Well, a person can belong to a church, be a parishioner, but not necessarily be a disciple of Jesus Christ. A disciple of Jesus Christ is somebody who has surrendered their lives to him, has a friendship with Christ, tries to live that every day, keeps Jesus at the center of their lives. Their lives are formed by the gospel, and then every day they do their best to teach the gospel, to spread the gospel. There's a difference between being a parishioner and being a disciple. In our parish, we want to have a culture of discipleship. We want each person to be a disciple of Jesus Christ. And we've said this in our mission statement, right? We want to be fully engaged, joyful disciples of Jesus Christ. This fall, we are launching a new program that we believe will help all of us to be better disciples of the Lord, to be fully engaged, joyful disciples of the Lord, and also to help to deepen the culture of discipleship here in the parish. The program is called the Rescue Project. Father John Riccardo, who is a priest from the Archdiocese of Detroit, along with his team, developed the Rescue Project to communicate the story of the gospel in such a way that encourages the people who are participating in the Rescue Project to give themselves to the Lord, to become disciples of Jesus Christ. Father John's point is that our lives are really shaped by our stories, by the stories we believe. And he oftentimes in the talks that he gives, you'll hear him say that, you know, we have not done a good job at proclaiming the gospel, at teaching the gospel. In other words, we ourselves as priests haven't done a good job at proclaiming the gospel and teaching the gospel. So we need to tell the full story of the gospel. His point is that when we know who Jesus is, when we really know who he is, when we really know what Jesus did for us, why he did what he did for us, well then, we can't help but to commit ourselves to the Lord. We can't help but to surrender our lives to him, to be fully engaged, joyful disciples. So in the Rescue Project, Father John proclaims the gospel in such a way to help us to understand the fullness of the gospel, the story of the gospel, the power of the gospel. And also, by understanding the story of the gospel, to understand our story as Christians. So what is the Rescue Project? Well, we will gather over a 7-week period here at St. Philip's in the Parish Center. And each week, we first will have a nice meal. It's always nice to have fellowship together over a good meal. So we'll have a nice meal together. After the meal, we will watch a video, a talk by Father John Riccardo. Then we'll have small group discussion and talk about it. We'll also have some music and prayer as part of these evenings as well. It begins on September 16th. They'll run, the Rescue Project will run on Tuesdays, 7 Tuesdays. There'll also be one retreat day, a Saturday, October 25th. So anybody who wants to participate in the Rescue Project, we really ask that they participate fully, that they commit to those 7 weeks and that one day, that one Saturday retreat day, October 25th. The goal is for each participant to have an open heart, to come and to listen to the story of the gospel in its fullness, the power of the gospel. And the hope is that each participant will be so touched by the power and the story of the gospel that they will decide to commit themselves to being disciples of Jesus. The goal is really to be overwhelmed by the gospel. What do I mean by that? Well, to allow ourselves to be touched so deeply by who Jesus is and what he did for us, that we say, Lord, you love me so much. I have to love you with my life. I have to surrender myself to you to be your disciple. So I am inviting you, all the parishioners of St. Philip, to join us on this exciting journey. We'll also need volunteers, by the way. We're expecting a nice turnout for this event, these 7 weeks. So we're going to need volunteers. We'll need volunteers to help with setup and cleanup and meals. So contact Veronica Plant here. She does such an amazing job. Veronica is our Director of Discipleship and Evangelization. So registration opens July 5th, but there will be information on our website. So go to our website to learn more about the rescue project. For now, God bless you, and let's continue to pray for one another.